immediately start out a video by dropping my glove on the floor. And actually what's funny is I dropped my glove and then was like, I shouldn't hit record just yet, and then reached up to hit record as I was walking around. Yes, I'm wearing 2 gloves. So I got my leather glove and I've got a fleece glove because I don't have winter gloves, but I have this and it works. Ugh. It is Thursday, November 30th. Tomorrow's December 1st, and I'm still riding my motorcycle because that's just how I roll here in Vegas. I'm leaving where I work. And what's nice about where I work is we finally got our parking lot back. F1 bullshit fucking taking over our entire parking lot. Woo. It's been a little while since I actually hasn't been. Okay, it's been a while since I've done a video like this. At the same time, I actually did record one the other day, but I wasn't happy with the video, so I deleted it. There's a massive slowdown on the 15, so I'm actually going to be taking surface streets home today. And if I stop talking for a moment, like I just did like a minute or so ago, it's because I'm more focused on riding and thinking about what I need to do and paying attention to the road than I'm more focused on the road and riding safely than I am thinking about what I need to say next and what I'm talking about. That's the nature of riding. You kind of just gotta just throw so much mental energy into making sure you don't get ran over. All right. Yeah. I was like, there's no sign that says I can't turn right on red, but there's a bunch of cars coming. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've done a motovlog like this, and I've been trying to get back into it. It's just, part of the problem is my GoPro. It sucks. Like, great video quality, okay audio quality, but the batteries on it are shit. It's in and across multiple lanes, and I can't see what these cars are doing. Like, I don't want to pull out in front of one of these big trucks or something. It's also been a while since I've ridden down the strip like this. So I think the last time I did a vlog and I talked about anything, I was talking about how I had just gotten a part-time job working at BattleBots. And after that, I was working like there was about a month in February where I was working 7 days a week. It was kind of brutal because many of the days, especially like Friday, like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, was like 14-hour days. It was like 8 hours at my normal job, leave, race across town, get to the BattleBots arena, and then work another 4 or 5 hours there. I want to get out from behind this truck. Oh, is there like construction and accidents here too? Because like the reason why I'm avoiding the freeway today is because there was a massive accident this morning on the freeway, and last I looked, the freeway was still backed up. Like they just reopened it, but it's all backed up still. So, but yeah, so yeah, it was like 12, 14-hour long days. I was exhausted most of those days, but I was making good money. But my other job that I was working at the time, when I was working for the printer company, it was going downhill fast. A big part of it was like they were kind of dicking me around and not treating me like I was part of the team. And the manager that they had hired to replace the manager who had left, he sucked at his job. He was terrible at it. There was like 2-3 weeks straight where I had almost nothing to do because any task that I could have done, I either didn't have the tools, you know, the components and the paperwork and everything necessary to do the task, or he would do it. And they weren't putting me back out in the field as a field technician like they were supposed to do. And it kind of just all came to a like, I hit a breaking point. I had a breaking point during one of the meetings where he had taken like a 2-hour lunch, and he constantly was taking long lunches, and he'd taken like a 2.5-hour long lunch, and I called him out on it, and then he's like, well, I was doing a site inspection. I'm like, did you tell anybody? No. Okay, here's what I saw. You left the building you were gone for 2.5 hours, and when you came back you had a Wendy's cup in your hand. It tells me you were at lunch for 2.5 hours. I'm going to interpret that as you were at lunch for 2.5 hours. That's the only way I'm going to see it, because the one told me you were on a site inspection. Nobody knew where you were at. I had multiple people ask, where's Johnny? And I'm like, I have no idea. So hi. These are all people I think are trying to avoid the 15 as well. So I ended up, like, that was on like a Monday. I ended up walking out that morning after that meeting, just went home. I was like, I'm done. And the next morning, or like, I went home and spent the rest of the day just kind of unwinding, cooling down, because I was shaking. I was so frustrated and angry. And I spent the rest of the day kind of thinking about what I wanted to do. And then I decided not to go into work the next day. And it was like shortly after lunch, the general manager, who I didn't like either, he calls me up and he goes, so I take it you leaving yesterday, not coming in, is you quitting? And I said yes. Like I every question he asked, I just answered with one word. Just like, yep, nope, yep, nope, goodbye. And that was the extent of the conversation I had with him about me no longer working there. And what sucks is, like, I liked everybody I worked with. I liked that job. I didn't like Jeff, who was the new well, okay, Jeff was all right. He was the general manager. He was all right, but he did do some things that I didn't agree with. And I did not like Johnny. And what pissed me off is, like, for Johnny's first 2 months there, before his 90 days were up, he'd made so many mistakes. He was constantly late and everything. And I talked to Jeff about it. I said, I don't think Johnny's going to work out. I don't think this is the right fit for Johnny, right? Like, I don't think Johnny's the right fit for this company. He's making too many mistakes. I've heard nothing but bad things. And Johnny goes, yep, I agree. We're going to wait till after the holidays, because I went to him at, like, it was like beginning of December, and I went to Johnny about that, or not Johnny, Jeff about that, and January, like, 2nd or 3rd, I forget what day it was. It was like that first day back after New Year's. Jeff goes, oh, we're gonna just every mistake that Johnny's made, we're just gonna ignore that. We're gonna give Johnny 1 more month to prove himself. And he went from being on everyone's shit list, more or less, to still being on everyone's shit list, but Jeff loved him all of a sudden. And the running hypothesis between myself, my therapist, and several other my friends is that Johnny got really good at sucking dick. Johnny had to just be fantastic at sucking dick. That's the only hypothesis we could come up with. Oh, should have stayed back there when that light was still green, but and I wanted to avoid the freeway because I wanted to avoid traffic like this, and then traffic. Technically, this lady does have the right of way. So yeah, I went and I worked. I'm now working full time at BattleBots. Basically, it was like after that conversation with Jeff on the phone about, you know, me walking out that day being my last day. I texted my boss at BattleBots and I was like, I texted Ross and I'm like, so I can start full time tomorrow. And he's like, okay. It got me in a regular 40-hour week schedule. I will say though that working at BattleBots has slightly killed my drive to work on my own robots. Like, I find it difficult, especially like if I spend 8 hours at work working on robots. I find it difficult to come home and then spend my own free time working on robots. I know there are people, Jeff Waters, who he can do that. He can go and work on robots all day, every day. He's an animal. But I can't do that, and it has taken a slight mental toll on me to be like, yeah, every day I work on robots. Which kind of sucks because I went to January Norwalk and I had plans to go to more events, and because we qualified for World Championship finals that were at the beginning of November, and I was all like, yeah, I'm gonna totally go to more events, and then didn't, because I started working at BattleBots and I just had no desire to work on my own robot anymore, because I was just burnt out from work on working on robots at work all day. And so I ended up finally getting, doing a little bit here and there on offbeat, and I eventually did go to an event in October where I think I did okay. We just tested out some new stuff and realized, oh shit, this isn't going to work. Like, it's the right idea, but not the right application. But we had a good idea of what was going to work and what we needed to do to make Offbeat run for World Championship Finals. So then November comes around and I go to finals with a robot that I've only fought with, you know, at one event since January. And our first fight is against Jameson Go, who is like the #1 driver in the world right now, or at the time. And his robot, Silent Spring, which is like the #1 beetleweight in the world right now. So it was like, great. Which, you know, he handily wiped the floor with our faces. He ripped half my robot off. But I was able to rebuild it and get ready to go again, and I lost against Hot Wings. And in the moment, I lost my second fight and was eliminated from the competition. And in the moment, I was like, in that fight, I'm like, no, I think we had good control. I think we had good control. And then I went and rewatched the fight, and I'm like, no, I agree with the judges. I was all over the place. So I have a good idea of what I need to do drive-wise, like driving Offbeat and changing some of the programming and stuff to make that robot function much better. And then we have some ideas on what we want to do with the weapon drive. But there was definitely a point at the competition where I wanted to throw Offbeat in the ocean. I wanted to be 100% done with that robot and move on to something different. And I even made a long post in my team Discord, or on the, not my team Discord, in the Team Freaking Awesome channel on the SCAR Discord, about how I wanted to take a break from Offbeat and work on something different, because I was frustrated, and part of that frustration stems from what I find enjoyable about what I find fun. And yeah, you're a taxi, you can suck some dick. What I find fun and enjoyable, you know, for me to go to a competition, being competitive, you know, is fun. Winning is fun for me, and that's a problem. That's a problem I have. I need to work on that. I need to build a silly robot where it's just a silly robot and I'm just having fun. I think that will greatly help me when I do have a competitive robot, because I put so much pressure on myself to do well that when a robot loses, it's not fun anymore, and I'm mad at myself. And I think if I build a silly robot, you know, that might help break me that mentality of winning equals fun. Fighting robots should be fun, and winning should be a secondary thing. So it's like I'm constantly reevaluating whether or not I want to take a break from Offbeat or not. I'm like, I want to take a break from it, and then Robert's like, so I think I have an idea to do this, this, and this. I'm like, all right, let's try that. Let's think of, you know, if we think it will work, let's explore that possibility. Because we've always 3D printed our frame out of nylon, and we've had mixed results. We've had some nylon frames that printed and held up wonderfully. They took a beating and just kept going. And we've had other nylon frames that you look at it and it explodes. So we have talked about doing a machined UHMW frame. We even talked about doing a welded aluminum frame. Which I now know how to weld. I don't know how to weld aluminum, but I know how to at least do basic MIG welding. Am I good at it? Hell no, but I can do it. Which is one of the wonderful things about working at BattleBots. It's like I'm learning all these skills that are helping me as a competitor in my own weight classes. Like I'm working on super heavyweights, and the knowledge that I'm learning there, I'm translating into beetle weight knowledge. I have my radio, my transmitter for Offbeat set up with the same safety and control features that we have on our heavyweights at the live show. So it's like I have one switch that if I flip that switch off, the robot won't drive. The weapon won't function. Like, the weapon is on its own separate switch where I can flip the switch off and the weapon won't function. I flip the switch on, and then I can use the throttle to turn the weapon on and off. I have another switch that's like turns the drive on and off and turns the drive at 50%, and another one that inverts it if I get flipped upside down. So it's a lot of stuff that I've learned working on the heavyweights at the live show that I've translated there. And I've even gotten to drive at the heavyweights at the live show, which I think is great because it's giving me more stick time to get a better idea of driving robots. But also, it's like, this is what happened with Jeff, and this is what makes Jeff terrifying to drive against. He used to get, he told me, this is what I have learned from Jeff, like how he's explained it. He used to get nervous every time he would go and drive the robots. You know, his own robot, his own robots at competitions, you get those pre-fight jitters. And nice turn signal. And he started driving full time, like, no, not full time, but driving like multiple times a week at the live show, and it's dulled his sense of nervousness. So he no longer has those pre-fight jitters. He's no longer nervous going into the fight. He's calm. He's relaxed. He's able to focus more. So while other drivers are overreacting because they're nervous and their thumb twitches a little bit further than they thought it was because their adrenaline is pumping and their heart is racing and they're terrified about what's about to happen, Jeff's sitting there thinking about a ham and cheese sandwich he ate for lunch. And also the robot fight at hand. He is like laser focused on the fight. Hey, look, there's Millennium Fandom. It's on the other side of the building, but he's laser focused on the fight that's about to happen, and his mind's clear and he's super chillaxed, which makes him super deadly as a driver, because he's like, you're not going to get in his head. You're not going to phase him. He's just like, whatever. Bam. Oh, there you go. I just knocked you out. Which makes me believe that if Jackpot can knock out, if Jeff can and the team can fix some of the little gremlins that Jackpot's had, self-rider, I could see Jackpot making a deep run this year, or not this year, but next season in the main tournament. I could see Jackpot doing quite well. I'm on the team now. I got invited to be Team Jackpot. That's a whole story and a half. But some of the stuff I've seen from the team, it's pretty promising. Not going to spoil anything, but yeah, I got invited to be on Team Jackpot, which is pretty freaking awesome. That's a story. So, like, most people who get onto a team on BattleBots, they start out building, their own robots, beetle weights, whatever, and then either they have the skills that other teams are looking for, or they have the connections or whatever. They rub enough shoulders with people to eventually get that invite to a team, and that was my strategy. It's either you get invited to your own team, or you build enough of a reputation of yourself and your own team to work your way up to being able to ask a sponsor for 10 grand to build a heavyweight. You see that with a lot of Norwalk teams. They work their way up. You see that with a lot of beetleweight teams. They work their way up from the smaller weight classes. But for me, it was like that, and that was my goal, was to build my beetle weights. I'm going to turn down Clark here because I actually wanted to go down 4th Street. That was my goal. Was I wanted to build beetle weights. I'm you want to go all the way down? I want 4th? No, I went Main. I went the next street. I'm just kind of cruising right now. Yeah, I can take a senior center. That'll get me where I want to go. So I wanted to work my way up. I wanted to rub shoulders and rub elbows with people and make a name for myself. And so that way, when filming came around, I could walk up to Jeff. Well, not walk up. I could email or text or whatever Jeff, or any of the people from Horizon or Mad Cat or any of the teams, and be like, "Hey, can I be on your team?" And I would be somebody that they would know. Right? I'm not just some random stranger on the internet going, "Hey Jeff, can I be on Team Jackpot because I live in Vegas?" It would be, "Hey Jeff, filming's coming up. Does Jackpot need anybody?" And that's more or less what happened. I was working. Jeff knew me from working on Beetle Weights and everything and competing with him. And then he knew me from work, and he literally, this is what happened. So the rumor mill started to churn that filming was going to be happening soon. And Fremont. The rumor mill was churning that filming was going to be happening soon. And so Alex Price from Team Horizon, she texts me and she says, "Hey, have you been invited to a team yet?" And I said, "I don't know. I hear things might be happening. I'm just waiting to talk to Jeff when he shows up." And she goes, "Okay, well, if Jeff doesn't invite you or say anything to you, I'll talk to the team. We'd have room for you on Horizon. We can find out if we have room for you on Horizon." I said, "Okay, I'll let you know." I think I can go straight here and still make it home. And then like 5 minutes later, Jeff comes walking up to me and he goes, "Hey, so I'm thinking about making the jackpot, the next jackpot text chat or team team roster chat, whatever. Do you want to be on jackpot?" And I'm like, yeah, okay." So then, and leading up to this, I'd also been talking to Ralph, who's one of the members of Team Mad Cat, and he had also said that if Horizon didn't invite me and Jeff didn't invite me, that he would convince Martin Mason to have me on Mad Catter. So I had like 3 potential teams to join. I'm all turned around. I'm not used to going home this way. I think I'm 1 street over from where I need to be. I think I need to be on that street over there. But yeah, so when filming happens again, I don't know when. And even if I did, I couldn't say. But when filming happens, I'll be on Jackpot. I've already been on Jackpot for a couple of the Proving Grounds fights, which is kind of cool. I'm also I've been trained to be one of the backup drivers at the Destructathon, so I'm just like, oh man, I'm getting myself set up to, like, if the money is ever there, I could also be a force to be reckoned with if I ever built a heavyweight. Yeah, it's Lake Mead. It's not the street I need, but this street will do. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with robot stuff and just things in general. Unfortunately, like relationship-wise, everything's going good, but our house that we currently live in, it's a 3-bedroom with 4 people, which is relatively cramped. And it's gotten to the point where it's like I need to start finding my own place to live. So I'm currently looking for someplace else to live. What sucks is there was a house in our neighborhood, like 2 streets over, that was just within my price range. It's within my price range to where I would need to, I don't know where the lane is here, I would need to have a roommate, but it was within walking distance of my current house. Literally moving would be me just taking everything that I own and like throwing it in a wagon and walking it across the street. Yeah, that's the street I needed to be on over there. So I'm all turned around. But I'm now back on to where I needed to be. I'm looking at another house that's way outside my price range, but if I had a roommate, at least one roommate, it would be affordable and doable. And there's also an apartment complex a couple streets over that has some 1-bedroom units that are within my own personal price range. Like I wouldn't have to have a roommate. Obviously, it's a 1-bedroom. Problem is, if I get my own place, that is going to make it financially more difficult to work on robots. So it's like, hopefully I can finagle a pay raise to help offset the cost of living. But it's something that's in the works. I have time. There's no I need to move out next week rush. And I'm thinking about, I have 2 big motorcycle trips that I'm tentatively planning for next year. One of my friends wants to take ride to Billings, Montana from Las Vegas. And that would be like a full-on iron butt challenge, which would be a lot of fun. But it's also going to be in April, May, like end of April, beginning of May, when it's going to still be cold. So that's going to be interesting. And last year I went to RTX, but I drove my car. It was one of those things that, like, at the absolute last minute, I made the decision to drive. And I don't regret it, because driving meant I could take more stuff. And it is, logistically wise, with all the stuff logistically wise, in that moment, it worked out pretty well. But this year, I want to go to RTX again. I want to try and go to RTX again this year, but it's expensive. It was like $3,000 to go last year. It's actually just under $3,000 total. But if I go to RTX 2024, I will be riding. It's 100%. Unless my motorcycle breaks down between now and then, I will be riding. If I end up not riding, I'll just fly, because fuck it, I'm not driving that drive was not boring, but I wouldn't want to drive it again. I would ride on a motorcycle though. But it was nice because I drove the route that I was going to take on my bike, and it's the same route I'll take again if I go next year. But because I drove the route, I don't know the route, like, oh, I know it like the back of my hand. But I know it well enough. Like, I know it's a route that's not hard. I was really worried about some of the road conditions, some of the towns that I have to go through. Like, there's some areas that just looked weird on maps. And I was like, I don't know if I would be comfortable riding a motorcycle through this area. Mostly because it looked like it would be really rough and bumpy from street view and everything, but it was actually fine. There were some areas that were pretty rough and bumpy, but nothing too bad. Yeah, we're pulling up here to Cheyenne, and about here's where I'm going to end this vlog. I want to be stuck around for me rambling while riding. Thank you, I guess. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I know I kind of did. I like riding. I like doing. Sometimes it's nice to just get off the beaten path and ride down the street like that. And if I do end up uploading this video, it will probably be tomorrow. It'll probably be on Friday, so this video will come out like a day after I recorded it. But yeah, I will hopefully catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to try and live stream, which I'll have a link in the description to when I'm to my Twitch channel. I'll probably try live streaming, hopefully maybe doing some riding live streams again, as it gets cold and it makes it difficult to ride. Anywho, I will catch you all later.